The Krelllic Station never slept. Its halls hummed with the sounds of 1,000 species trading, arguing, bargaining and shouting over one another. The air carried scents Noah couldn't name, drifting from alien stalls crammed together like mismatched puzzle pieces. Towering Vraxian merchants lumbered past, their thick hides brushing against the metal pillars, while serpentine Zelix slithered between their legs with effortless speed. Every color, every shape, every biological form from across the outer rim mingled under the station's flickering lights. And in the middle of it all stood Noah Chen, 19 standard years old, fresh off a transport from Earth, and probably the smallest thing on the trading floor. He swallowed hard. He had known he would stand out, but he hadn't expected this much scrutiny. Every alien eye that swept over him carried the same dismissive glint. A Zelix traitor hissed as it passed, tasting the air with its forked tongue. Another soft skin. It muttered loudly enough for everyone nearby to hear. They send children now. Noah pretended not to hear. His jaw tightened anyway. He'd spent 3 long weeks in the outer rim listening to the same comments on every station. He set foot on. Humans were weak. Humans were fragile. Humans were barely worth the oxygen they consumed. It didn't matter that Earth had industrialized space travel at a shocking pace. It didn't matter that humanity had made first contact only 5 years ago. To the rest of the galaxy's species that had walked among the stars for thousands of years, humans were still newcomers stumbling through the dark. A voice crackled in his comm implant. Ignore them, Ela. His partner, his mentor, and the only thing keeping him sane out here. You're not here for them, she said. You're here for the core delegation. Stay focused. The core. Noah squared his shoulders. That was the real reason he'd been sent to Krelllic. He'd read every scrap of data the Terran colonial authority had collected. The core were apex predators from a world so hostile that Earth was considered soft in comparison. 8 feet tall, covered in black scales that deflected plasma, with 6 eyes able to see in a dozen spectrums. Their claws could tear open starship plating. Their reputation made hardened mercenaries flinch. And somehow, for reasons no one understood, they had specifically requested to meet with humans. Noah threaded through the crowd. The trading floor pressed around him like a living organism, pushing and pulling him between vendors. A hulking Vraxian deliberately stepped into his path. Noah stumbled back. Watch where you're going, Terran, the Vraxian rumbled. Its 4 eyes glittered with amusement. Wouldn't want you to break. I hear your bones are as fragile as glass. Nearby aliens burst into laughter. Noah clenched his fists, but stayed silent. He'd learned quickly that reacting to every insult out here wasn't bravery, it was suicide. Good, Ela said in his ear. You're learning. The core representative is waiting in conference room Theta 7. His name is Vexthor, and Noah, be respectful. He's significant among his people. Noah nodded to no one in particular and pushed forward. When he reached the conference room, he pressed his palm to the scanner. The door slid open with a hiss. Darkness greeted him. It took a moment for his eyes to adjust. Then he saw him. Vexthor stood in the center of the room, an obsidian mountain of muscle and scale. His 6 eyes glowed faintly, fixed on Noah with a predator's unblinking intensity. Minimal armor wrapped his torso, leaving a lattice of scars exposed. Noah knew what those scars meant. Each one represented a kill. A worthy kill. "You are the Terran," Vexthor said. His voice sounded like stone grinding against stone. Noah straightened. "I am Noah Chen, representing the Terran colonial authority." The core circled him slowly, deliberately, studying him as though assessing prey. Noah felt the weight of each gaze. He could practically sense Vexthor identifying every point of weakness. The silence stretched until Noah's heartbeat became the loudest thing in his ears. "They mock you," Vexthor said at last. It wasn't a question. "Yes," Noah replied. "Why do you not challenge them? Why do you not prove your strength?" Noah met all 6 of the Kerr's eyes, refusing to look away. "Because I have nothing to prove to them. I know what humans are capable of." Something shifted in Vexthor's expression, something so faint Noah almost doubted he'd seen it. Surprise, maybe, or approval. The massive alien turned toward the viewport overlooking the station. Stars glittered beyond the glass, cold and sharp. When he spoke again, his voice carried a different weight. 3 months ago, Vexthor said, I was hunting in the void reaches. A ship had crashed on 09, Death World Category 6. My clan went to investigate. We expected to claim salvage, honor the dead, and move on. Noah's breath caught. He knew this story. Everyone in the Terran fleet did. We found a Terran ship, Vexthor continued. We expected bodies. Instead, we found survivors. 5 of them. Noah's pulse thudded. A female named Ela led them. Noah froze. Through the comm, Ela inhaled sharply. For 47 days, Vexthor said, they survived on 09. A world where we send our young to prove themselves. A world where most of them die within a week. He faced Noah again. Respect shone openly in his eyes now. They built shelter from wreckage. They hunted predators that should have hunted them. They learned the toxic storms, the land quakes, the venomous fauna. When we arrived, they did not beg for rescue. The female Ela stood in front of her crew armed with nothing but a sharpened scrap of metal. She told my hunters they could not take her people. Noah felt pride swell like a living thing in his chest. I accepted her challenge, Vexthor continued. To refuse would have been dishonorable. He stepped forward until he towered over Noah. She lasted 18 seconds before I disarmed her. He leaned closer. Do you know how long most species last against me, young Terran? How long? Noah asked quietly. 3 seconds. The best warriors in the galaxy last 5. The core placed a clawed hand on Noah's shoulder, gentle. Careful. The way one might touch something rare. Your Ela lasted 18. Fighting while injured. Fighting after surviving weeks on a world where mercy does not exist. His voice softened into something almost reverent. When I asked why she fought, she said, because my crew doesn't give up. Because humans don't quit. Then she collapsed from exhaustion. We carried them to our ship. We treated their wounds, and we brought them home. Vexthor stepped back. Then he did something Noah had only ever heard about. He placed his right fist over his heart and bowed deeply. A gesture of highest honor among the core. The galaxy mocks you because you are young. Vexthor said, because you are new. Because you have not yet shown them what we have seen. But the core do not forget. We do not ignore truth. Every word vibrated with conviction. You come from a world that taught you to survive impossible odds. You carry a spirit that refuses to surrender. These are the marks of true warriors. He extended his hand, not a core gesture, but a human one. That is why I requested this meeting. Not for trade routes, not for mining rights, but to tell you this. You are not weak. Humanity is not fragile. You are what your world has made you. No, swallowed, overwhelmed. Vexthor's mandibles spread in a fierce, tooth-bearing expression that could only be a smile. My clan has declared humanity our brothers. We will hunt beside you. We will stand with you. And any who mock you mock the core themselves. Noah clasped the offered hand. The strength behind Vexthor's grip was staggering, yet held in perfect control. Thank you, he said quietly. The Terran are honored to call the core our brothers. Illa's voice trembled in his ear. Tell him we owe them everything. When Noah stepped out onto the trading floor, something had changed. Word had spread fast. Every stall, every walkway, every alien presence seemed to know what had just happened. The crowd parted before him. The same Vraxian who had mocked him earlier stepped aside, lowering his gaze in a gesture rarely seen outside ritual combat circles. For the first time since leaving Earth, Noah walked with his head high. Humanity was no longer stumbling alone through a hostile galaxy. They had found something precious. Allies, brothers, a place among the stars. And from that day forward, the galaxy would never look at Earth the same way again. Is this conversation helpful so far?